This is Ocarina of Time 3D, part 61. We're going to be wrapping up the Shadow Temple with, we're going to get the boss key, or big key, sorry, and we're going to be fighting the dungeon boss.
And we get some more Skulltulas, don't forget about that.
There's always more Skulltulas.
But I won't go back to what I was saying at the end of the last part.
Sorry for cutting you off.
Well, it's fine. We were at the end, which I actually knew we were at the end, but I was kind of cutting it close a little bit. But kind of going back to like it just being a shorter dungeon, like you can finish this dungeon in another 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And none of the other adult dungeons were like that, so I also don't like that aspect of it because just this late in the game, I just feel like a dungeon should take you a little bit longer.
I wish pushing this block was a little shorter than it was.
Yes, and that's what took up 26 of the 27 minutes.
I'm pretty sure
it was that right there.
It seems so unnecessary to push it that far.
What is pushing a block? Well, I mean, it's necessary.
Yeah.
But like we talked about in that one room, I would definitely take an item where you push blocks just a little bit faster.
Oh, but this whole room, I'm a huge fan of. Like,
agreed.
I love the concept of this boat down here. And to me, and I was kind of talking to you about this a little earlier, like, to me, it makes me think of, like, Greek mythology. There was the boatman that ferried you across the river Styx into Hades. And being a death temple here, like the Shadow Temple, and this boat here that's just taking us to the boss, that's what it made me think of. I love that association.
I clocked out when you said Greek mythology. I was like, I'm not going to probably understand this unless it's like Zeus or something from Troy or Clash of the Titans. So
there you go.
I was like, you just go ahead and you can talk about whatever you want to.
Yep.
But how about this statue right here that we get on the ship? And just like, I was a little bit early on that one, but just like the way it looks, it's got that red, whatever.
Cloak
or something like that. Yeah. Just in the 3D remake, they were able to add so much more detail to that.
Plus, it looked like the bells were being held on by these rings that were also holding the statue's wrists.
I did not notice that, actually.
Little touches that they added for that just looks amazing.
Well, first of all, how did they even get a boat down here is like my question. And then two, what's it floating on? Like, I thought it was... Actually, I want to stop myself real quick.
Oh my god.
Do you notice the air is actually faces?
I didn't notice that.
Actually blows like spooky faces.
That looks fantastic.
Yes, it does. It's a great detail. I do not know if that was in the N64 version or not.
No idea.
But a great little detail. Anyways,
yeah.
Going back, like, first of all, okay, how's a boat like this even get down there?
They had to build it down there.
And then what's it floating on? Like, I thought it was on a track.
Yeah.
But it's not on a track. But it's got wheels. This vehicle makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever.
Well, nothing about the Shadow Temple down here makes a whole lot of sense.
Maybe it's all the ghost of this dungeon, like holding it up.
It could be.
And like moving, like maybe that's their like internal, what's called damnation
that'd
or whatever.
That'd be a horrible punishment.
Like their internal damnation is like pushing this boat and holding it up back and forth.
Well, the worst would be the guys that just have to sit there and hold it, because as far as I know, we're the only guys who ever use the boat.
Yes. So it doesn't look like it's getting used very much nowadays. That boat is probably like, oh my gosh, we got customers.
We got
customers. You can't see it from the smile on his face.
Yeah.
But he's probably very happy right now.
Plus, you have to know Zelda's lullaby to even make the thing move. I mean, how many?
So he knows your role.
Exactly.
Oh, so not only do you have a person down here, you have somebody that is royalty. Well, he thinks is royalty.
We know the song. We know the song.
Yes.
Hey, I'll ferry this guy wherever he wants to go.
Yes. Now, one thing I hate about this room was in the 3D remake, that obviously, like nowadays, makes it a little less graphic. They took away the blood that was there in the N64 version. I just love that detail to this dungeon. Too. Like, this dungeon in the remake was missing some blood.
It really was. It was the same thing with the bottom of the well. I mean, we mentioned it. There was a similar... I guess you'd call it that little X of wood there.
Yes,
There was a similar...
Right in that middle room.
Yeah, and they also removed the blood, and I'm like, it's just a little puddle on the floor, guys.
It's not even that big of a deal, and games use it all the time nowadays, but this room right here with the 3 rooms, I guess this little corridor, I guess you would call it, like, this place is just really dark and sadistic.
It is.
I mean, it's been a dark and sadistic...
Well, in general.
Like, in general, but this little area right here is like... This is where they brought all the bad people, because you saw that last room.
Yep.
That didn't look like a fun room.
No.
And then the next room we're going to, like you kind of see, like we got some walls and some spices.
Yep.
Like what exactly went on down here?
You don't want to know.
No, you don't.
You don't want to know what.
Lewis was the man last night.
I didn't cry. I didn't cry. But this room, though, I love it. Like it's such a simple idea, just having these spiked walls closing in on you. But man,
I died many times.
Oh yeah,
I died. Well, not died, but like got started over in this same room.
Exactly.
And you brought up a good point that I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know if you can use the fire arrows on that wall right there.
Either. And you would think you would be able to.
I want to say I tried it. I want to say I don't think it works, but it's possible that could.
It is a good question. I mean, I've never tried dense fire.
No,
obviously works great. But the idea of having just like those wooden walls that you can burn with dense fire is a really cool touch, and something like you said, we died a few times before the first time we played.
Just like it's not a hard concept to figure out, really, but those are usually the hardest ones in Zelda games where you're like, it's right there in front of you, and you just can't figure out. But that was the second place we we're talking about that used dense fire, where dense fire is required in the game. We talked about the other one being before the start of the dungeon.
And it's so weird because we got dense fire a long
really, you get
time
pretty
ago.
close to the beginning of the game, and
it's
not required until now, which I think most people did get it because the fairy
tells you to go there.
Yeah, it tells you to go there, whereas I think we talked about it at that time. Like, they don't tell you to go to the other two places to get those spells. You kind of just explore and find them on your own.
Although it is important to note, speaking of the Great Fairies, I'm not sure if we've mentioned this, it is important to get that magic meter upgrade.
Yeah, we did. We said it. We said that in Bomb of the Bomb of the Well. We said that.
It's been a long time ago.
It won't be the first time we ever repeat stuff. We've done it many times.
Definitely not. But how about that cinematic?
Yes, like using the arrow to blow up the bomb.
Love it.
And then bringing the statue down. Another simple concept right there that I didn't. I didn't figure it out for the longest time.
Yeah.
You know what my problem was in Zelda games? Like, I never got the clue until recently that when something was in a jar, like right there randomly, you're supposed to use that item. And why I never picked up on that, I don't know. I'd be like, why are they giving me arrows?
Exactly.
Right here. Like, I don't need arrows right here. So
a lot of people may not even realize you can shoot the bomb flowers with your bow. I mean, I think that's one of those things that took me a little while to figure out.
That's true. Like back in those days,
I
mean, this whole game was new, just being in 3D. So there's just a lot of mechanics that to gamers at that time, with the 8 and the 16-bit, just really didn't make sense, or just weren't things you thought about.
But now we are here at the boss fight.
Yes,
we are both big fans.
Love the design of the bongo.
Yes.
Love it in the remake.
And of course, his name is Bongo Bongo.
Yes, but go ahead.
But we're both big fans of this dungeon.
Agreed.
The
boss.
And I just think he looks awesome.
He really does. I think he came in for Ocarina of Time. Well, we don't want to ruin that.
Yeah.
Like you said, he was very, very high on there.
Yes, he was.
And just, like I said, the bongos got a little more detail in the remake, which I really like. It seems like he bounces higher.
It feels like
As you can see, I'm having some struggles right here getting started.
Oh.
As I get clapped. Like I get, basically, well, that's not a B slap. But that's close to getting a B slap right there.
That is close. But the concept of shooting the two hands and then having to shoot the central core is something that they've copied over and over in other Zelda games.
Yes.
I believe this was the first time we ever did that. And then later on, we see it in Wind Waker, we see it in Minish Cap. I mean, it pops back up a few times.
It's just cool he's banging drums. I'm a guy. I'm simple. You give me a hammer, I'm happy. You give me a power tool, I'm elated.
Ecstatic.
Okay, whatever. My vocabulary. There's a reason I'm called Hick. I thought it was pretty good, but just in any banging on a drum, that to me was cool.
Plus, the effect of him bouncing you up in the air actually does look really cool. It makes it a little harder to shoot his hands, but it's still I like the concept.
But overall, pretty easy boss, really.
He really is.
Just do that. Now, the hardest thing I ever found was equipping the Lens of Truth and then shooting him really quickly. That's something I actually had to practice behind the scenes to kind of get down a little bit.
I like when he dies and he turns back into that shadow monster right there before he evaporates, because we saw that back in
Shadow Temple.
Yeah. Plus, back in Kakariko Village when he first escaped the well, that's what he was. He was a shadow. We called him the smoke monster from Lost.
Yes. That's a good point. I didn't even think about that, actually. And I had another good point, but I cannot remember. I like how he bangs slowly. When he's down there, he's just sitting there, he's banging on the drum, and he just gets slower and slower. But anyways, this will wrap up the Shadow Temple, and it'll wrap up part 61 of Ocarina of Time 3D.